Good day. I'm Yuri van Niekerk, the National Coordinator for South Africa, and we've put together this video to assist you in preparing your application. After the information sessions, we found that there's some technical issues that some applicants experience, and we're putting together this video to assist you in conceptualizing your project, developing the log frame, developing the budget and the implementation plan, and then completing your application. From there, we look at the evaluation criteria, which the evaluators will look for, and that will help you, hopefully, to prepare an excellent application. This is the African-German Youth Initiative Innovation Fund, and we are here to help and support you to prepare an application. Application documentation consists of 4 parts. The application is the logical framework, which explains how the project fits together. A budget, how the resources will be utilized and the funding that's required. A work plan, which will detail the implementation schedule of the different activities over the 5-month period. And then there's the application form, which will provide details of your activity as a whole. As a start, the application procedure. We advise that you complete the budget, the logical framework, and the work plan before you start completing the proposal to ensure all of this fits nicely together. Check the evaluation grid for guidance to make sure your proposal can score the maximum points in the evaluation process. Support, online support questions can be submitted via email to your implementing agency or your national coordinator, and we will reply with a whole set of questions and answers to everybody that is interested in this and attended the information sessions. Project conceptualization and design. How do you design an African-German Youth Innovation Fund project? Some key questions you need to ask yourself in developing a good proposal. First question, what are we trying to accomplish? This is a German-South African exchange program. So within that, how and what can we do, and where do you want to position your project? What is your objective? What do you want to achieve once this project is completed? Who will be the implementers? Who will actually be implementing this? Because this is aimed at youth organizations or parent organizations supporting youth organizations. And a key question is, who will be the beneficiaries of the project? Where will the project be implemented? When will the project be implemented? You've got a 5-month time limit to complete your project. There can be absolutely no extension. So you need to think on what and where will you implement it, when will you start, and when do you end. How will we implement the project? What activities are required? We need to define our objective, but we also need to define a series of activities that, once implemented and utilizing the resources that the funding make available, to successfully complete the project and achieve the objective. The key question from that is, what resources are required to achieve our objective? The budget is providing for this, and we'll do the breakdown of the budget in that. The next question is, how do we measure success? Because it's something to design a project, to achieve the objective, but how will we measure if we have been successful? So we need to think about how we're going to measure success from the start, during implementation, and then also at the end to determine whether we've been successful. The last question is, are there any other preconditions that must exist, or external factors over which we do not have control that could negatively influence our project? Those are the key questions we need to ask ourselves when we start thinking about how are we conceptualizing and designing a project for which we wish to submit a proposal. Eligibility and eligible actions on the budget. You need to pick one of 3 types of projects. There's 3 funding windows explained in the documentation and material. Support of alumni structures and networks. This is to enable African alumni from the German African Youth Exchange Program to act as multipliers for youth exchange and youth voluntary services, African alumni from the African German Youth Exchange Program as providing sustainability for an exchange program. Then there's another opportunity, innovative exchange formats and approaches. You might have thought, I've been on this exchange program, I've participated in this, I've heard about this, but why don't we do it this way? Why don't we change it and change the format of an exchange program? This is an innovative new way which we can do it. This funding, we know, provides opportunities to apply for funding for the promotion of innovative and inclusive approaches of African German or trilateral exchange programs, piloting new approaches. This is an ideal opportunity to secure funding to pilot a new approach, a new exchange format within that. The third type of project that you can consider to submit for evaluation and consideration is a community-based action. This is to promote innovative community-based change projects in the context of the African German Youth Exchange Program. So this is aimed at bringing change within a community stemming from experiences in an African German Youth Exchange Program and services to implement the Agenda 2063 and the Sustainable Development Goals. So as a start, you need to start thinking about your project. In which of these windows will this project fit in? Eligibility, you can only choose one eligible action. Otherwise, the application will be rejected. So it needs to be clearly fit into one of the previous three actions. The application will gain more evaluation points when it targets marginalized groups with regards to age, gender, class, ethnicity, language, education, and disabilities. So think, we've just spoken, who will be the beneficiaries of my project. Here's an opportunity to specifically focus and gain some additional evaluation points, which might just give you the edge to have your project selected as one of the 4 core projects that will be awarded per country. Application procedure. A bit of advice on the general approach. Complete the budget, the logical framework, and the work plan before you start writing your proposal, to assure that all of this is coherent and nicely fit together. Also, once you start writing the application, check the evaluation grid for guidance to make sure your proposal can score the maximum number of points. We'll review the evaluation grid in detail a little later in this video. Support. There's support available from your implementing organization in your country, as well as via email in the first 2 weeks of publication of the call. You can raise questions. Answers will be provided to these questions, and they will be emailed to all these people that attended information sessions.